Hey, how about another round of applause? Now, I don't know how many of you know this. This movie has been in the works for a while, right? You had the idea how long ago?
Basically, for 9 years, we kept thinking about this thing and writing it and assuming it would never get made. And then, you know, a year ago, our incredible producers, Jess and Keith Calder from Snoot Entertainment, were like, we can make this in 2 months. Like, 2 months from now, we can make this movie. We were like, whoa, fuck, shit, we gotta rewrite. Sorry, kids. Earmuffs. I don't know why y'all are in the front.
They've seen plenty at this point.
Right up front.
I would have had less whiskey if I knew you were coming, so that I would curse less. But I didn't.
Have you been friends longer than this movie has been an idea, right?
That is true. Yes.
Yeah, how long? How long?
Depends where you count from.
Yeah.
It's about 17 years.
Okay.
Right around there.
Yeah. So yeah, because that's a lot of trust because you have this idea and then you guys worked on it together. And then it's obviously you developed it as well on the set and things like that. I was also curious because you have such a great rapport and you're able to like rap to each other. How did you practice that?
Oh, the opening rap where we're going back and forth is actually from a song we put out.
A lot of it, yeah.
A lot of
like
it is
from,
yeah, big chunk of it is from a song we put out in like 2009 or 2010. I just lifted a bunch of lines from his and my verses, and then we trade them back and forth.
Yeah,
and
a great thing about having like not very successful careers is you can recycle shit. So
yeah, no one knows.
No one's ever called us on that.
Like, that was a good punchline. I'm gonna put that in a movie 8 years later.
And so what was that feeling to come back to Oakland to film? I know you really like leaned into using the environment, into talking a lot about gentrification in the movie as well. Can you talk a little bit about what that was like to go back? Because, you know, Oakland 9-10 years ago is completely different than Oakland now, and that's a problem in many cities across the states.
You know, shooting this film was the longest chunk of time I got to spend at home in years, so that was amazing to just be home for a month. But yeah, there were definitely location scouting days where we were running point for everything Bay Area based, both because like we should know, but also because we wouldn't let anybody else do it. And so we'd be like, oh, we got this great, we know exactly where you need to shoot this, and we'd go there and it would be gone. Yeah, okay, there's another one. We're gonna go here. Just get in the truck. We're gonna go back here. We go to the next one. It will be gone. Yeah.
We even scouted a location and lost it after we locked it.
After we locked the location.
we had this like old burger place. The Quick Way is a different location than we originally had, because the one that we had between the time that we booked it and we're gonna shoot it, somebody or a group of people broke in and stole all of the copper wires out of the building. And they were like, you can't shoot here anymore. It seems like they're gonna steal something every night until this thing's torn down in a month. So we lost that one. Like, there's no, the great thing about shooting at home is that we got to hire all our friends as extras. Like, all the people in the movie that you see in the background are, like, for the most part, friends of ours that we grew up with. A lot of the people that Miles and Colin are based on are like in the backgrounds of shots that we're in. So that's the really rewarding part, is that like we wanted this to, when we watched it 10 years from now, feel like the Bay Area that we grew up in. And so we were like, well, then we really want to populate it with the people that helped us figure this story out. Like, we can take credit for the story for days, but like most of the scenes that happen in the movie happen to one of us or one of our friends, you know? So it is really of the community, like a patchwork of experiences from the community we grew up in. And so in shooting it, that was like really important. Like, no, if we're gonna say they grew up in West Oakland, we have to shoot it on this corner in West Oakland, because everyone from here is gonna go, oh shit, they like really went deep into West Oakland. Like, that is a dangerous corner. They're not fucking around.
Yeah.
Sorry, children. I also drank.
But we made this movie to, the community we knew were going to see it were our friends. We didn't actually know you guys were going to see it, so we didn't care about you.
Sorry.
But I mean, we care about you now very much, but we didn't, while we were making it, we were not trying to impress y'all. We were trying to impress the people who were really from there and who would know. So there were so many things like that. This is my favorite thing, that incredible sort of blue wall where the sailboat scene is shot, which Carlos was obsessed with from John. He loved that wall, talked about it every day.
Really into blue.
And but that wall, so we shot that scene, and then a week later, maybe, we were back in that, maybe less than that, we were back in that area, and that whole wall had city bikes in front of it. Like, we wouldn't have been able to shoot that scene.
The shit gentrified in 4 days. The speed of gentrification is rapid.
It's very, very fast. Yeah. It was like, whoa, what if our schedule had been different? We actually would have, we had to shoot around these bikes. And who are those bikes for? Also, wasn't nobody in that area riding on bikes.
Can you tell me about how you developed those characters and how you decided the relationship between the two of them?
The characters are really, like we said, sort of amalgams of people who we grew up with. But the prompt for making this film, we knew from jump that we wanted it to use verse in an interesting way, in a way that felt honest to the Bay Area, and we knew we wanted it to be about the Bay Area. So as we started thinking about what the kind of story we were telling was and how to best sort of showcase Oakland, and we knew we were gonna star in it. Because we didn't trust anybody else to let us star in a movie ever. So we're gonna do this one if we do nothing else. So these were the characters that were really sort of the best vehicles for us to tell the story of this town. They sort of were so deeply entrenched in the change that was going on, and also, like everybody there, totally brilliant in a very unassuming way. Colin and Miles are both crazy smart, but really everybody in the Bay is crazy smart. I didn't grow up with any dumb people. I grew up with a lot of angry people. I grew up with a lot of depressed people and misunderstood people, but actually zero dumb people. So that was an important thing for us to showcase, and so the way we combined all of these stories into these characters, this was the way it worked out. The question was
verse always, why did we choose to have heightened verse in it, and was it always a part of the concept of the film?
Every choice came back to, are we portraying the Bay Area in an accurate way, in the way that we grew in the way that we grew up understanding Oakland, because we'd never seen that on film before, so that was a big thing for us. And the language there is different. We talk different out there, So it is that baseline scene where Cuddy drives up when Miles sells the sailboat, that's not a particularly odd conversation.
No. It's also there's nothing, those are all very, very real slang terms, and a lot of it is improvised because he kept throwing me curveballs while I was doing that monologue, and I'm like, oh shit, yeah, Daytona 500, that's what's up.
Yeah.
I get that,
The other important thing about the way that the Bay Area treats virtuosity is that you always downplay it. So that was another reason we couldn't have a musical moment. You can't, it just happens. And if you missed it, you missed it, and that's what it is. But that's sort of how we do there, and so that felt the most honest way to portray the Bay, is because to have people who aren't aspiring rappers, still use verse. And you can tell this story if you want, but we recently got left a voice memo
Oh yeah, this was awesome. Okay, so we're doing the soundtrack right now, and we're recording a bunch of.
Soundtrack's about to be
soundtrack's
lit,
supposed to be really good. We're doing this album, and we were like, oh, we really want to have interludes that feel really organic, and Miles is based on a number of different people. And one morning we're trying to figure out how to piece these two songs together, and one of the people that Miles is based on just sends me a text. It's a voice note. He's just rapping for a minute and a half about how the Bay is and how he's pissed off and how the Bay, the Bay is this way and nobody can be like people in the Bay. He is not a rapper. And just sends me this note, and I send it to Diggs, and I'm like, we gotta put this on the album, right? It's because it's just great. It's somebody who has like no aspirations to be that way, and he won't play it for anybody. But he was just like, I know who's gonna appreciate this, Rafa. Send it my way. And it's such a great example of the inherent sort of rhythmic nature of people in the Bay Area. It's a musical place with heightened language, with slang, and with verse. It's just baked into the blood.
We grew up going to poetry slams like kids go to basketball games. You know what I'm saying? That was the other thing, cool kid. That was the other place to meet girls. You know, was at the poetry slams. Like, so, you know, verses everywhere. It's just we talk pretty.